Urgent. Judge Peinado summons Begoña Gómez to appear in person on June 9th. If not, he will have the police bring her in and does not rule out imposing pretrial measures. Will she go to prison? Let's get started. Music. Hello everyone and welcome to a new urgent special edition of Medidas Cautelares, because we have learned some very important information that affects none other than the wife of the Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, who is Begoña Gómez. Pay close attention because Judge Peinado has summoned her for June 9th, for the upcoming June 9th, to testify in person at a preliminary hearing. But the most important thing is what comes with that summons. Because Judge Peinado does not rule out imposing pre-trial measures against Begoña Gómez and also warns her that if she does not appear in person, he will have the police go and get her. We have the court order and we are going to explain it in a few moments, sharing it on screen as we always do. By the way, if you haven't done it yet, remember to subscribe to the Medidas Cautelares channel. We're already close to 131,000 subscribers. We're moving really fast thanks to you. And now we have on screen this ruling from Judge Peinado, this order, which is really incredible what Judge Peinado says. We're going to talk about it. Here is an order, well, about 4 pages long, as we can see here. And what's relevant about this order, in which, as I said, Begoña Gómez is summoned, is what it says in the points, especially in point 6. In point 6. It says, taking into account the range of penalties included in the criminal offenses which are influence peddling, from Article 429 of the Penal Code, which provides for prison sentences from 6 months to 2 years, a fine of an amount equal to or double the benefit sought or obtained, and a prohibition on contracting with the public sector, as well as the loss of the possibility to obtain subsidies or public aid, and the right to enjoy tax benefits or incentives, and social security benefits. Social security benefits for a period of 6 to 10 years if the benefit sought is obtained. These penalties, it says, taking into account their punitive nature, are for influence peddling. The next crime for which Begoña Gómez has been charged is corruption in business in the private sector between individuals, from Article 286 bis of the Penal Code, which provides for prison sentences of 6 months to 4 years. Special disqualification from engaging in industry or commerce for a period of 1 to 6 years, and a fine equal to 1 to 3 times the value of the benefit or advantage. Third crime for which he has been prosecuted, it says, taking into account the range of penalties, Article 429 of the Code provides for prison sentences of 6 months to 3 years and suspension from employment with a fine of 1 to 4 years. Fourth crime, and then we will do an analysis at the end. Misappropriation, Article 253 of the Penal Code, which provides for prison sentences of 1 to 6 years. A possible penalty of 6 to 12 months based on assessment to receive subsidies, economic benefits, or tax incentives. Complutense, having the quantified economic ranges by the Complutense University of Madrid. They are Article 429 of the Penal Code, under which Begoña Gómez has been prosecuted. Let's just review the possible penalties. It provides for prison sentences for influence peddling from 6 months to 2 years. So here we already have a maximum of 2 years. Here, corruption in contracting is possible. It says prison from 6 months to 4 years. We're already at 6 possible years of prison. Embezzlement from 1 to 4 years, which means a maximum sentence of up to 10 years. And we finish with misappropriation, which gives us another 6 years. So are we saying that Judge Peinado, after prosecuting Begoña Gómez for these 4 crimes, the wife of the Prime Minister could face penalties? Possible request for a sentence of 16 years in prison, but it doesn't end here. It doesn't end here. And pay attention to what Judge Peinado says now. We're talking about 16 possible years in prison for Begoña Gómez if she's tried for these crimes, and Judge Peinado says, and this is even more relevant, the aforementioned crimes at this stage of the proceedings are attributed to the persons under investigation and the accused, which foresee prison sentences for those prosecuted, obtaining subsidies, incentives, which could provoke some behavior by one, some, or all 3 of the accused aimed at evading justice. It is appropriate to order that the defendants appear in person with a warning that they will be brought in by law enforcement, that is, by the police. to the preliminary hearing for the purpose of, if necessary, holding the corresponding hearing with them present, in which some precautionary measure could be adopted of a personal nature that prevents or minimizes the mentioned risk of the accused trying to evade justice. Having considered the cited legal provisions and all other generally applicable relevant provisions, the operative part of this order states that the preliminary hearing provided for in Article 30 of the Organic Law is convened. 5/1995 of May 22 on trial by jury for the upcoming June 9, 2026, Tuesday at 11 in the morning at this court where the three defendants must appear in person. We are talking about Juan Carlos Barrabés, Begoña Gómez, and the Moncloa advisor Cristina Álvarez, with the express warning that they will be brought in by law enforcement and with their respective attorneys. Similarly, the Public Prosecutor's Office representative and the representatives of the citizen-led prosecution parties already joined in the case must also be summoned, and the legal representation of Complutense University as a private prosecutor, as the offended party in one of the crimes under investigation, specifically for the crime of misappropriation. Issue the appropriate orders, provide the transcript of the statements requested by Juan Carlos Barrabés, which had been requested by Barrabés' lawyer. An appeal for reconsideration against this decision may be filed within 3 days. This ruling by Judge Peinado is extremely important. Let's recap, because we're talking about 4 possible crimes: influence peddling, business corruption, embezzlement of public funds, and misappropriation. Well, Judge Peinado considers that Begoña Gómez, facing a possible sentence of 16 years in prison for having committed up to 4 crimes, must appear in person on June 9 to a preliminary hearing, with the warning that she will be brought in by law enforcement, that is by the police, and pay attention, because Judge Peinado does not rule out imposing pretrial measures. What do pretrial measures mean? Possible withdrawal of her passport, possible prohibition from leaving the country, possible requirement to report to the court periodically for a set period, or possible pretrial detention. These are the possible pretrial measures that Judge Peinado could impose on Begoña Gómez, directly warning her that she must appear in person. Because in the previous hearings under the jury law, Begoña Gómez did not attend. Her lawyer attended instead. Well, Judge Peinado tells her that this time she has to go in person, because pretrial measures will be considered against her and the other defendants. Begoña Gómez is facing a possible prison sentence, up to 16 years in jail for those 4 crimes. And let me also clarify one thing. And the thing is, the latest report from the UCO, which we learned about just yesterday, makes it clear that Begoña Gómez may have committed a 5th crime. A crime of malfeasance for rigging the hiring of Deloitte in connection with her chair of competitive social transformation that she held at the Complutense University, and pay close attention, because this would already be a possible 5th crime. The crimes are piling up for Pedro Sánchez's wife. I'll keep you updated on any developments as always here on Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. That's it for this urgent edition of Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me your opinions, your comments. The news is on fire right now, and of course, you'll always have it up to the minute. From Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez, remember you can support the channel by becoming a member for less than €3 a month like the chosen ones, or like the Supremes for less than €7 a month. You can also contribute via Bizum at 627-55637, 0627-55637, 0627-55637. And I repeat, if you like the video, give it a like, thumbs up, and share it with whoever you want. Lately, honestly, I'm really grateful to you all because we're crushing it, all together. On this channel, Medidas Cautelares. The most important thing is that this information reaches everyone, because information is power. See you soon.